Hello, my amazing viewers. Welcome to my channel Mathsletical. So, this video is in continuation to my previous video in which I discussed section A of Mathematics 1 paper of December 2019. In this video, I will discuss section B of that same paper. So, just have a look at the section B. Section B consists of 4 questions and you have to attempt at least 2 questions from this section. So let's start with the 11th question. I will discuss all these 4 questions. So let's start with the question number 11. So question number 11, find the eigenvalue and eigenvectors of following matrix. The matrix is given to be 5, 4, 1, 2. We have to find out its eigenvalue and eigenvector. So to find out the eigenvalue, what we have to do? We have to put the determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. So let's just find the matrix A minus lambda I. I is the identity matrix of order 2. So this matrix comes out to be equal to 5 minus lambda, 4, 1, 2 minus lambda. We will put the determinant of this matrix equal to 0. So put determinant of this matrix equal to 0. So it will be equal to determinant of this matrix will be equal to 5 minus lambda multiplied by 2 minus lambda minus 4 multiplied by 1, which is 4, equal to 0. From here we will get a quadratic equation. We will solve that quadratic equation and when we will find out the values of lambda. The values of lambda will give us the eigenvalue. So let's simplify this equation. So multiply 5 with this factor 2 minus lambda. So you will get 5 multiplied by 2, 10 minus 5 lambda. Then minus lambda multiplied by this factor. So that will be minus 2 lambda plus lambda square minus 4 equal to 0. So we get lambda square minus 7 lambda. These two together will give us minus 7 lambda and 10 minus 4 will give me 6. So lambda square minus 7 lambda plus 6 equal to 0. I will tell you a shortcut way also to find out the characteristic equation. So the shortcut way is whenever there is a 2 by 2 matrix, the shortcut way is write down lambda square, then put minus, then with lambda you have to write down the trace of the matrix, trace of the given matrix. So trace of A will be written here and plus determinant of the given matrix, determinant of the given matrix equal to 0. So this is a shortcut way of finding out the characteristic equation, and by using this method you can also check that your characteristic equation is coming out to be correct or not. Okay, so lambda square minus, what is the trace here? 5 plus 2, 7. 7 lambda. Trace is the sum of the diagonal elements. So diagonal elements here are 5 and 2. 5 plus 2 is 7 plus determinant of this matrix. So what is the determinant here? 5 multiplied by 2, 10. 10 minus 4. 10 minus 4 equal to 0. So it's come out to be lambda square minus 7 lambda plus 6 equal to 0, which is same as the one which we have calculated by putting the determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. Okay, so this is a shortcut way. This method is applicable to find out the characteristic equation of a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so it's a very uh, useful trick, especially for objective type questions. Okay, so and in one way we have also verified our characteristic equation, that the characteristic equation which we have calculated is correct. Okay, so you can use this one also to find out the characteristic equation. So once we have calculated characteristic equation, we'll simplify it. So we'll find out the value of lambda, we'll simplify it. So I can split the middle term into minus 6 lambda minus lambda. So it will be minus lambda square minus 6 lambda minus lambda plus 6 equal to 0. So lambda can be taken out here common. So lambda minus 6 minus 1 lambda minus 6. So lambda minus 6 is common now. So we can take it outside. And inside will be left with the only lambda minus 1. So we'll get lambda minus 6, lambda minus 1 equal to 0. So we get two values of lambda from here, which is 6 and 1. So these two values are the eigenvalues of the given matrix. So we get two eigenvalues 1 and 6. We'll find out the eigenvectors corresponding to 1 and corresponding to 6. So now let's find out the eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 1. So let's assume that x1 equal to x comma y non-zero vector is a eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 1. So if x1 is a eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 1, then a minus a minus I times x, that will be equal to 0. So I will make equations from here. I will put the value of the matrix minus identity and x, and I will put it equal to 0. Okay, so here you will see I'll get 5 minus 1 4, 4 minus 0 4, 1 minus 0 is 1, and 2 minus 1 1. 4 4 1 1 xy equal to 0 0. You can clearly see this, the rank of this matrix is 1. So from here we will get only one equation, right? So the one equation which we will get from here is x plus y equal to 0. We'll get this equation from here. Okay, so from here we get the value of x equal to minus y. So if x is equal to minus y, we can assume the value of y to be 1. So if we assume y equal to 1, we'll get x equal to minus 1. Okay. So minus 1, 1 is the eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 1. Corresponding to the first eigenvalue lambda equal to 1. Minus 1, 1 is the eigenvector. Now let's find the eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 6. So same method we will use. We'll put a minus I times x2 equal to 0. A minus 6 times a minus lambda I times x equal to 0. So a minus 6 times I x equal to 0. So we'll solve this equation. So we'll get 5 minus x minus 1, 4, 1 minus 4. So again rank of this matrix is 1. So both these equation will give us the same result, which is x minus 4 y equal to 0. So this gives us x is equal to 4y. So if x is equal to 4y and if we put y equal to 1, we get the value of x equal to 4. So putting y equal to 1, we get x equal to 4. So 4, 1 is the eigenvector corresponding to lambda equal to 6. And in this way, we have calculated the eigenvalue and eigenvectors of this given matrix. Now let's move to the 12th question. So in 12th question, we have to find out the maximum and minimum value of x cube plus y cube minus 3xy. So to find out the maximum and minima, you have to find out the partial derivatives of this given function. So let's just find out the partial derivatives. We'll find out the partial derivative of this function with respect to x and partial derivative of this function with respect to y. So partial derivative of this function with respect to x is 3x square minus 3y. What you have to do? You have to take derivative of this function with respect to x, keeping y constant. So derivative of x cube is 3x square. Y is constant, so y cube is constant. So derivative of y cube is 0. Then 3 is constant, y is constant. So constant into x, derivative of constant into x is equal to constant, right? So we'll get minus 3y from there. Then we have to find out the derivative of f with respect to y, keeping x constant. So that will be equal to y cube minus 3x. Now we will solve, we'll put them equal to 0 and we will solve for x and y. We'll find out the values of x and y from these equations. So solve 3x square minus 3y equal to 0 and 3y square minus 3x equal to 0. So from first equation you can see we'll get x square equal to y. We'll put this in second equation, value of y equal to x square. We'll put this in second equation. So putting it in second equation, we get 3x4 minus 3x equal to 0. From here, I can take out 3x common. Inside, I'll get x cube minus 1 equal to 0. From here, I get two real values of x, which is 0 and 1. So we'll consider only the real values of x. We are getting two values. First is 0 and 1. Second is 1. So when x is 0, if you put x equal to 0 here, we get y equal to 0. And if we put x equal to 1 here, we get y equal to 1. So we get 2 points from here, 0, 0 and 1, 1. And we will evaluate the maxima and minima at these points. So to find out the maxima and minima, we'll calculate the second derivatives. So find out the 2 times partial derivative of the given function with respect to x. So you can see it will come out to be 6x. You can take the derivative of this function with respect to x again. So it will be equal to 2 times derivative of the given function with respect to x. So this is equal to 6x and this will be considered constant. So it will be 0. So we get a equal to 6x. Then find out b, which is a mixed partial derivative. You can first derivate the function with respect to x and then with y. Okay, so already we have the derivative of this function with respect to x here. Take the derivative again with y. Okay, keeping x constant, so we'll get minus 3y. And then double derivative of function with respect to y. Okay, so one time derivative is already here. One time derivative already we have. Take the derivative again with y, we get this 3y. So we get the value of a equal to 6x, b is equal to minus 3 and c equal to 6y. Now what we will do, we'll find out the value of a, b, c at the given points. Firstly, we'll take the point 0, 0. For 0, 0 value, for 0, 0 means x is 0 and y is 0. So for 0, 0, a is 0, b is minus 3 and c is 0. Now we will find out the value of ac minus b square. So ac minus b square is coming out to be negative. So at whenever AC minus B square comes out to be negative, that means the function has neither maxima nor minima at that point. Okay. Now we'll evaluate for 1, 1. For 1, 1 means x1 and y1. For 1, 1, A is 6, B is minus 3 and C is 6. We'll find out AC minus B square again. So AC minus B square is coming out to be 27. 6 multiplied by 6 minus 3 times square. So it's 36 minus 9, which is 27. So 27 is greater than 0. So whenever AC minus B square is greater than 0, then the function either has maxima or minima. That depend upon the value of A. Now what is A here? A is 6, which is greater than 0. So whenever A is greater than 0, then the given point is point of minima, and whenever a is less than 0, then the given point is the point of maxima. So here it is, here the function has minima at this point 1, 1. Now we have to find out the minimum value also. So we can find out the minimum value by putting x equal to 1 and y equal to 1 in the given function. Okay, so put x equal to 1 and y equal to 1 in the given function. So we get the minimum value to be minus 1. Okay, so minus 1 is the minimum value of the given function and it is occurring at the point 1, 1. Now next question, question number 13. So in question number 13, you have to verify Cayley-Hamilton theorem for the matrix 1, 2, 0, minus 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so it's a very easy question. So firstly, you need to understand what is Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So Cayley-Hamilton theorem states that any square matrix satisfy its characteristic equation. So for to verify the Cayley-Hamilton theorem, firstly you need to find out the characteristic equation of the given matrix. Okay, so to find out the characteristic equation, put the determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. Find out A minus lambda I and puts a determinant equal to 0. So 1 minus lambda 2 0 minus 1 1 minus lambda 2 1 2 1 minus lambda will put the determinant, its determinant equal to 0. Now let's solve this determinant. So we can expand it using the first row. So when you expand it through the first row, 1 minus lambda 1 minus lambda 1 minus lambda minus 4, then minus 2, remove this and remove this determinant of the remaining elements. So minus 1 multiplied by 1 minus lambda will give me minus 1 plus lambda minus 2 times 1 minus, so it will be minus 2. Now let's simplify it. So it is 1 minus lambda. When I'll open it up, I'll get 1 plus lambda square minus 2 lambda. So 1 minus 4 will become minus 3 and rest other terms lambda square and minus 2 lambda as it is. Then minus 2 lambda minus 3. Now let's simplify it further. So it will be lambda square minus 2 lambda minus 3. Then multiply minus lambda inside, so minus lambda cube plus 2 lambda square plus 3 lambda and minus 2 lambda plus 6 equal to 0. So I'll get 3 lambda square. You can see lambda square and 2 lambda square will give me 3 lambda square. Then minus 2 lambda plus 3 lambda will give me 1 lambda. 1 lambda minus 2 lambda will give me minus lambda. Okay, so we get the coefficient of lambda to be minus 1. Then constant term minus 3 plus 6 will give me 3 and minus lambda cube as it is. Okay, so we get this equation. Now let's write this equation in a good form. So we can write this equation as lambda cube minus 3 lambda square plus lambda minus 3 equal to 0. Now we have to show that this equation is satisfied by the matrix A. That means I have to show A cube minus 3A square plus A minus 3 times identity matrix is equal to 0. Okay, we have to show this thing. But before that, I want to discuss a shortcut way for a 3 by 3 matrix, shortcut way to find out the characteristic equation of a 3 by 3 matrix. So let's just have a look at the shortcut way. So the shortcut way to find out the characteristic equation is write down lambda cube, then put minus, then write down lambda square. Okay, then I'll tell you the coefficient here, then put plus, then write down lambda and I'll tell you the coefficient of lambda and then put minus and I'll tell you the coefficient here and put it equal to 0. So this is the shortcut way. Now these coefficient lambda cube minus here will have trace, okay, trace of the given matrix A, and the constant term will be the determinant. The constant term will be the determinant. The coefficient of lambda will be the sum of cofactors of diagonal elements of the given matrix. Means here we will write down the cofactor of A11 element plus A22 element, the cofactor of A22 element and the cofactor of A33 element. So here you have to write down the sum of the cofactors of the diagonal element. So this is the shortcut way to find out the characteristic equation of a 3 by 3 matrix. Very useful trick. So let's check for this matrix lambda cube minus trace of A. So what is the trace here? 1 plus 1 plus 1. 3, right? So 3 lambda square plus cofactor of A11. So see what is the cofactor of A11. A11 is 1. So remove this and remove this. So it is 1 minus 1 minus 2 times 2, 4. 1 minus 4 is minus 3. So cofactor is minus 3 for A11. Now let's see for A22. Let's see for A22. What is the cofactor for A22? For A22, you remove this and remove this. So it is 1 multiplied by 1, 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0, we get 1. And cofactor of A33. Now let's look at the cofactor of A33. So for A33, remove the third row and the third column, remove this and remove this and see the determinant of remaining. So it is 1 minus of minus 2. So it is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So it come out to be 3 into lambda minus determinant. Now we'll find out the determinant of this matrix. So what is the determinant of this matrix? You can see here, we can expand it through the first row. So 1 multiply by 1 minus 4 comes out to be minus 3 minus 2 times, remove this and remove this, so it is minus 1, minus 1 and minus 2, so which is minus 3 equal to 0. Sorry, not equal to 0, we just have to calculate it now. So minus 3 plus 6, so it comes out to be 3. The determinant is coming out to be 3. So we'll write down the determinant here, minus 3 equal to 0. So you can see we are getting the same equation. Minus 3 and plus 3 get cancelled. So we are getting the same equation. Lambda cube minus 3 lambda square plus lambda. Here the coefficient of lambda will be only 1. Minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so instead of doing such big calculation, you can directly get the characteristic equation in a single step using this formula. Okay. Now we have to show that Cayley-Hamilton theorem is satisfied by this equation. So let's find out a cube, a square, and everything, and we'll put all the values here in this equation, and we'll show that it is satisfying the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So let's do it. Let's find out a cube. So firstly, let's find out a square. So a square is a multiplied by a. So you can see you have to first multiply the first row with the first column, then multiply first row with the second column, then multiply the first row with the third column. I hope every one of you knows how to multiply two matrices. Okay, so you can check it yourself. A square will come out to be this. Okay, now find out a cube. A cube is a multiplied by a square. Okay, so multiply again. You know how to multiply a 3 by 3 matrix with a 3 by 3 matrix. So it will come out to be this. Now we have calculated a cube, a square. We'll put these values here. Now we have calculated a cube and a square. We'll put it in left hand side of this equation and we'll show that it come out to be 0. Now put the value of a cube minus 3 times a square plus a minus 3 times identity matrix. Okay, just to add or subtract. Wherever there is add, put add. Wherever there is subtract, put a subtraction sign. Okay, and you'll get this. When you'll simplify it, you'll get this. And once you will solve all these elements, you can see they will all come out to be 0 0 0 0. Okay, and this is equal to right hand side of the above equation. So we have proved a cube minus 3 times a square plus a minus 3 times I equal to 0. So that means the given matrix is satisfying its characteristic equation, and this proves the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay. Now let's move to the last question, which is question number 14. So 14 question is you have to find out the volume of solid generated by revolving the ellipse x square upon a square plus y square upon b square equal to 1 about x-axis. Okay, so you can see the figure here. These are my these are my x's. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. So ellipse is like this. Ellipse is like this. This is the ellipse. This point is a comma 0, a comma 0, and this point is minus a comma 0, right? This point is minus a comma 0. We are revolving the ellipse around x-axis. We are revolving the ellipse around this axis. Okay, so that means this region, this portion is being revolved, and you will get a solid. This portion is getting revolved and you will get a solid. uh, I hope all of you have seen magnets. Okay, the magnets, the black colored magnets which are of solenoidal shape, right? So we'll get a figure something like that. We have to find out the volume of that figure. So what is the formula for the volume? It is integral lower limit upper limit pi y square dx. Okay, so here we have to find out the value of y square according to given equation. So the given equation is x square upon a square, x square upon a square plus y square upon b square plus y square upon b square equal to 1. So you can calculate the value of y square from here. So you can see y square upon b square, y square upon b square, that will be equal to 1 minus x square upon a square, 1 minus x square upon a square. So y square will be equal to b square times, y square will be equal to b square times 1 minus x square upon a square. So we'll put the value of y square in the given integral. We'll put this value here in this given integral. So pi and b square are constant. They can be taken out of integral. We have to just integrate 1 minus x square upon a square. And why I am taking 2 here? This is because this is an even function. So whenever there is a even function, we are integrating a even function and limits are from minus a to a. We take 2 times and we change the limit from 0 to a. Okay, this is the property of integration. Now just integrate it. So integration of 1 is x and x square is x cube by 3. Okay, now put the upper limit and put the lower limit. When you are putting the lower limit, you will get 0. When you put the upper limit, you will get a minus a cube upon 3a square. A square will cancel with a square here. So we get a minus a by 3, which will give me 2a by 3. Okay, so we get the volume to be 4 by 3 pi a b square. So this is the volume of a solid generated by the ellipse about the x-axis. Thank you so much for watching my video and stay tuned for the next video. I'll come up with section C of this question paper very soon. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.